Hey guys, welcome to chessroots.com. This was a live game just now finished between Kamsky and Nyzhnyk in Aeroflot tournament 2013. Okay, here comes. It was a bleach tournament. Okay, Kamsky played knight f3, knight f6, g4, g6, bishop f4, bishop g7, e3. D6, H3. The idea of D6 simple. He wants to take the advantage of double bishop. So Kamsky played H3, castle, C3. Now this pawn structure is very strong. This bishop is little weak in this pawn structure. So B6, bishop E2. Now the idea of b6 is simple. He wants to play bishop b7 and keep an active bishop on b7 or even bishop a6 to exchange. Mostly you will play bishop b7 and bishop b2. The idea is simple to exchange this bishop on b7 at one point. So bishop e2, bishop b7, castles, c5. Now black simply tries to open this diagonal of this bishop by playing c5, a4. Now white is trying to simply play a4, a5 and a6, trying to shut down the activity of this bishop on b7. So a6. Now the idea is if you play a5, simply replace with b5. So bishop h2. Now he doesn't want to give any tempo of knight h5 and c into d4, maybe e5 like most. So bishop h2, knight bg7, knight bd2 and queen c7. After queen c7, black is trying to expand on the queen side by playing rook a8, maybe c4, b5, b4. So he played bishop d3. Now white is trying to keep this bishop on this other diagonal and also maybe trying to prevent to play e4 and limit this bishop activity on b7. So after rook a8, e4, c4. In my view, this c4 is little dubious because black at one point should try to open up the center instead of closing this with c4. So okay, bishop c2, e5. White simply cannot play d5 because there will be a strong knight on c5 and he can activate his bishop by playing bishop c8 and somewhere. So rook e1 supporting the e4 pawn, rook f8, b3. Now he simply wants to open the diagonals of this bishop on c2. Bishop on c2 doesn't really do anything, so he wants to keep it on this diagonal. So for that he gave a pawn sacrifice, c into b3, bishop into b3, and here black played h6. I think in this position he cannot take queen into c3. The reason is immediately if you take queen into c3, rook c1, queen b2 is not there because of knight c4. So queen b5. If you play queen a5 directly, he can challenge with knight c4 Knight c4, knight e5 is winning, I think. And f7 is also under attack. So queen b4 is the only move. Then rook c4, queen a5, rook c7. Now I think he can play knight d4, knight c4. First of all, take this and knight g5. Yes, this is a I think this is winning for white simply after bishop e5. Sorry, knight c4, queen b4, bishop e5. Now threatening king g8, maybe bishop d6, queen c3, rook e3, queen trap. So white will have a free piece movement in this position. So queen is trapped in the center of a chessboard. Even after knight here at this position, knight c4 is simply winning, I think. Okay, so bishop into b3, he played h6, rook c1, knight f8, rook c2. Now white is simply trying to double the rook and queen everything on this b file, so he needs to support this c3. So knight h5, queen b1, knight c6, bishop c6, d5, bishop d7 and c4. Now he simply wants to play rook b2, maybe doubling and tripling the rook on b file and attack this c4. So a5. The idea of a5 is simple. He just want to create pressure on c4 pawn by playing bishop c8 to a6. To do that, he needs to fix a piece on c5. That will be very great, because if you won't play any piece to c5, white will simply throw this pawn and sit the knight on c4, create the pressure on b6 and a5 and even d6. So rook b2, bishop c8. Now the idea is to play knight d7 to c5 and bishop to a6. He can double everything on c5. So bishop a6 is very good, so he simply played c5. Now bc5 forced and bishop c4 preventing bishop a6. Knight f4, rook b6, queen a7, qb3, simply doubling the queen and rook on the b file. So knight h7, rook b1, bishop f8 supporting the b6, queen e3, knight h5, queen c3. Now the idea is simply to play rook b5 and rook a5. If you prevent by playing bishop d7, you can play rook a6 and rook a5. So knight n7 f6, rook b6, rook b5, bishop d7, rook into a5, queen c7, bishop b5. Now white simply wants to occupy this with knight, and he wants to make this pawn as a passed pawn. So to occupy this, he needs the support of this pawn. Maybe he'll play rook e1, knight f4. Yes, he played rook e1, bishop g7, knight c4, rook 8, rook 8, rook 8, bishop into f4. Bishop into f4 is just he wants to keep a flying square for his king, and also he wants to play e4 and d5. E into f4, q d2. Bishop into b5, a into b5, rook a4. Now black is trying to make this knight to support this knight such that he cannot push e5 and d5. So queen c2, rook b4, b6, queen b8, e5. So here black can take knight into d5, e d6, knight b6, knight into b6, queen b6, rook e8 check, king h7, d7, bishop f6, queen d2, rook b1 check, king h2, c4, queen d5, attack the f7, and now I think black cannot support this. He played king h7 and knight e5, again attacking the f7 and trying to promote this pawn for a queen. So he played h5 and queen into f7. See, he resigned at h5 in view of queen h7, king h6, queen g6 is a checkmate. So this was a very good village round played between Kamsky and Nyzhnyk in Aeroflot tournament 2013. We'll upload more games live in Hangout. Please be joined. Don't forget to subscribe and leave comments. Hope you enjoyed the game. See you on the next class. Bye.